Welcome to the grade 1 art activity for your child's orientation. You are going to be creating a portrait of your child in Plasticine. And here's an example that I did. It doesn't have to be as complicated. Mine's kind of middle of the road. You just want to capture the essence of your child, their hair color, a little bit about their hair texture, length, and eye color. The rest is pretty basic and generic for everybody. And let's begin. So you're going to have your plasticine, all the different colors. You're going to have some toothpicks and probably a knife just to cut if you need. But for the most part, you're going to be using your fingers as the tools that you will use. So I first start with my skin tone. And if your child's skin's a little darker or a little lighter, you can add a teeny bit of brown and mix it in, or you can add a little teeny bit of white or even a little bit of pink, depending if you want to change your child's skin color to make it a little bit more like theirs. You can do that. You don't have to. You can basically just use the plain skin tone and go with that. And you're going to take a decent amount, probably about, if you look at that size right there, that's probably about the right size. Anyway, you're going to kind of soften the clay, the plasticine. You will use your fingers and you will go back and forth just to soften it up or mix, either way. And then it's pretty soft. You're going to roll it into a ball. You can roll it on the table. You can roll it by hand. And then you're just going to press it down and just kind of go around and fill in that circle. The next thing I like to do is I will add a little bit of a nose, and I'm just going to take my regular skin color, make a little bit of a ball, softened already, and just kind of what I do is I roll it into a ball, and then I use my finger as a kind of a rolling pin, and I just kind of make this so it's a little bit pointier at the top, and it almost looks like a teardrop shape. And that's fine. You can do it however you want. You can even draw it in. You can do it a little more formed than I am. I'm just kind of working with basics here. And then I'm going to move on to the eyes. You want to press it down so it sticks, but you don't want to change the shape. Now for the eyes, I always start with a little bit of a white ball. Same idea. Work the clay through, make it soft, roll it into a little ball. You want to do two that are exactly the same size or as close as you can get. And when you're working with white, you don't want your fingers to be have any other color on them. So you will have a tissue nearby, and then you will just wipe your fingers a little bit. And with plasticine, I'm sure a lot of you know this already, don't wash your hands afterwards. Use a tissue to take the oil off, the grease off first, and then wash your hands. It'll take some of the residue off. So I have my two little white balls, and I'm going to actually roll them a little bit so they're not so round. And then I'm going to add the color. And for this one, I'm going to maybe do green eyes. So I'm going to add color for green. And I'm just doing same thing, teeny tiny bit. You don't want it to be too much or it'll kind of stick out too much. And again, just roll it a little bit. And then I will add the very smallest amount of black just for the pupil. Teeny tiny. This is when you may want to use your toothpick. Now, the one I did, I kind of like to outline the eye. You don't have to. I'm just going to go with a basic brown here. I'm not mixing colors. And I roll it out really, really thin with my finger, cut it in half. And then I have these two really small sticks and I'm going to use my toothpicks for this. And I kind of do a line, an outline for the eye. And there you go. So it gives the eye a little bit of an outline. So next is the mouth. And I'm not a big fan of red lips, so I kind of take a little bit of red, a little bit of pink, and you kind of get a nice color. Mix that in together, soften it up. Same idea, get a little ball and kind of roll it out slightly, but kind of go to one end and you make it pointier there and the other end pointier there. And then you kind of have this mouth. I'm going to use my toothpick to pick it up. I'm going to put it down around the mouth. I'm going to use my toothpick to kind of curl the edges up for a smile. And now for the hair, you can kind of wing it and do what you want. You can put ears on if your child has short hair. You might want to show their ears. If they have long hair, you may not need to do that. And when it comes to hair, I'm just going to use my basic brown here. You can mix, like I said, if your child has blonde hair, you might want to mix brown with a little bit of white, maybe a little yellow. If your child has dark brown hair, you might want to add black to it, but just a little bit. You decide how you want to do. You can also add a little skin tone to the brown, which is what I did in this one here. So I'm just going to do brown, soften it, and same idea. I'm going to use pieces. So maybe my child has curly hair, or your child has curly hair, and you might want to do these, kind of make smaller balls and kind of stick them around. But I really just wanted to kind of give you an idea of how you mix colors, how you can do their eyes so they look a little bit more realistic. I'm going to kind of stick them down, pull it up a little bit so it kind of gives some height for the head. And now if I want, I can take my toothpick and just go around it and make these little swirls. If your child, you want to put them in braids, ponytails, you can add bows, you can add whatever you want. You can add a neck. I'm a big fan of necks, but you don't have to. Or you can just put a neckline right there for a shirt. There's an idea of what you can do. Here's another one. Have fun. Have a great night, everyone.